Good day, everyone. This is Teacher Bofel. How are you today? So, for today, we are going to learn about judging the relevance and worth of ideas. Are you ready? So, I hope everybody's ready with their pens, notebooks, and for you to take down notes, you're going to listen intently to this discussion. Prepare also for our short quiz afterwards. This time we are going to define first relevance. As what you have learned from our previous discussion, relevance means the degree to which something is related or useful to what is happening or being talked about. So, take note of the key terms. When we say relevance, something should be related. Is it useful or important? And is it recent? Is the idea recent? Meaning to say it happens just recently, not long ago, but recently. This time we will proceed to the definition of an argument. When we say argument, it is a reason or the reasoning given for or against a matter under discussion. When we say argument, it's either you agree or disagree on a matter under discussion. You're going to try to convince someone that something is true. And of course, it consists two important parts, the conclusion and the premise. When we say conclusion, it is a judgment or reason reached by a reasoning. It is an assertion that readers won't readily accept. So from the conclusion itself, from the word conclusion, it is a judgment, meaning to say when you are concluding, you are making a judgment out of a topic given to you. And when we say premise, it is the support or the reason that shows that your conclusion is true. We have here an example for you to understand better conclusion and premise. A sentence says, social media brings a lot of benefits because it makes communication and information dissemination easier. So from this sentence, we can take the two parts, the conclusion and the premise. The conclusion is on the part which says, social media brings a lot of benefits. And the premise is on the part where it says, because it makes communication and information dissemination easier. If you could observe here, the premise supports your conclusion. For you to have a clear understanding on conclusion and premise, we have here another example. So as you can see, there are two premises that support the conclusion. Premise number one says, Maria does not like sweet things. Premise number two, candies are sweet. So from these premises, what conclusion can you make? Of course, Maria does not like candies. As you could observe, the premises support the conclusion you have just made. So, for you to conclude that Maria does not like candies, of course, the premise number one, she doesn't like sweet things. And candies are, of course, sweet. So, Maria does not like candies. And take note that a conclusion should have at least one premise, meaning to say you can make one, two, three, and more premises for you to support your conclusion. We have here the indicators of a conclusion. So once you read sentences with these indicators, you could easily say or identify the conclusion in the sentence. So the indicators are, therefore, hence, implies that, it follows that, so, thus, and consequently. There are still other indicators of a conclusion which you could browse online and use them in your sentences. Meanwhile, we have the indicators of a premise, and they are the following. Since, for, given that, for the reason that, because, as, and is shown by the fact that. If you see these indicators in an argument, you could readily say or identify the premise in that argument. When you read or hear arguments online or in textbooks, many of you may ask, Ma'am, what makes an argument good? So remember, class, that a good argument must not just be valid, but should also be sound. An argument is valid if the premise is true and logically supports the conclusion, and it is sound if it is valid. When we say an argument is valid, it is legally or officially acceptable. And when we say it is sound, it is not only valid but also begins with a premise that is true. So again, remember that an argument should have a conclusion and a premise that supports the conclusion. And take note of the most important word, the premise must always be true. Others may wonder the difference between an argument and an opinion. In here, you will understand better the difference between the two. An opinion is an assertion, but it is left to stand alone with little to no reasoning or support. Anybody can make an opinion, but most of the time, he or she makes an opinion with no reasoning or support to it. Meanwhile, an argument is much stronger because it includes and demonstrates reasons and support for its claim. As for mistaking a fact for an argument, keep this important distinction in mind. An argument must be arguable. So to wrap this lesson up, on a sheet of paper, you're going to identify whether the statement is an opinion or an argument by writing O for opinion and A for argument. Sentence number 1. Writing an essay is laborious. Number 2. Traveling is an interesting experience since it is an opportunity to widen one's horizons by meeting other people and emerging in other culture. Sentence number 3. Answering modules is a fruitful learning experience. Sentence 4. Attending online classes is enjoyable because you get to virtually interact with your classmates and teachers. Number 5. The novel we were assigned to read is somewhat boring. This time we proceed to item number 6. The storybook is interesting due to the colorful illustrations and mysterious plot. Number 7. The artist's performance is commendable since there is precision in his every move. Number 8. Hiking is an enjoyable activity. Number 9. Keeping a journal is ideal as it helps me document moments in life worth remembering. And finally, number 10. That actress has been brilliant since her beginnings in the industry. So I hope you have learned something from me today. I hope you have a wonderful day ahead of you. May God bless each one of you. Thank you, everyone, and good day.